Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for September 15th. We're looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. We've got a whole lot going on. The market's moving a lot. If you're looking at the stock market, at least you can't say it's boring, right? Anyway, we're looking at this pair. I'm expecting this pair to move within a range. This is a pretty high range, and that's due to this really large candle that we had over range candle over this previous session. But looking at 107.21 and on the lower end 104.23. Now probably a little more realistic top figure on this, where we should hit some resistance, would be around the 105 area. So definitely keep an eye on that. And as far as our support, looking pretty much at the same area, the 104.23 area, possibly as low as the 104.00 area. This pair appears to be moving lower, and the bias to the downside kind of gapped down, and it has continued to move down. So we'll have to make sure that we keep an eye on this one, see if this turns into a downtrend or not. Now, switching gears over at the Euro USD pair, we're looking for this pair to move within a range of 1.4514 and on the lower end 140.40 during this next session. As far as support and resistance, look for some resistance to come into the market around 143.41, and as far as some support, look for support at 141.30. This pair is beginning to move sideways, and the bias is definitely to the downside. It did gap up and then close lower for this previous session. Now, taking a look at the pound US dollar, looking for this pair to be to move between 1.8163 and 1.7711 on the lower side. As far as support and resistance, look for some resistance around 1.8050 level. There we go. And as far as some support, look for support around the 179.50 area. And if this market, it's already retraced the gap, but if it continues lower, we could see it possibly run all week, which would be a good thing. Now we have the US Swiss. I'm looking for this session to be between 1.1314 on the higher side, on the lower side 1.1028. And this pair is moving lower, appears to be starting to move lower. The bias is down at this point as well. Now, the Swiss had their retail sales for July come out during this past session. It was better than expected, up at 6.2%. Really didn't affect the market all that much if you happen to track it, at least in the long term. Now, tomorrow got so much going on. Lots of good trading opportunities for tomorrow. Really, no matter what session you trade, we have the Japanese. The Bank of Japan releasing their rate decision. The consensus is that they're going to hold rates at 0.5%. I don't anticipate, with all the economic data that's been coming out recently, I don't expect that to be moved at all tomorrow. Now, there's no real time given on that. We do have the Euro, or the Eurozone has the German Consumer Price Index, the CPI, being released. It's estimated to be the same as last month at negative 0.3%, and year to date at 3.1%. So we'll have to wait and see what that looks like at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, the pound has the Consumer Price Index for August being released, and it's estimated that it has increased for the month of August from 0.0% up to 0.5%, just a little bit of an increase. Year to date, it's estimated that it has increased from 4.4% up to 4.6%. So we could see that pound continue lower. You may want to take a look at the low of this previous session and keep an eye on that currency breaking that low and then continuing even lower basically taking back. Well, let's take a look at that real quick. Taking back what it did on Friday, the previous Friday. So if we take out this low, look for this to be taken out as well. So I know that's a pretty good jump from this point to this point, but if we do get that and we have bad news on the CPI for the pound, look for this to move through here over this next session. It could possibly move pretty quick. Definitely, if this low's broken, I would look to go short. Now, continuing with the news announcements for tomorrow, we have the Eurozone CPI being released for August there again, and the consensus is that it's the same as last month, negative 0.2% on the month of August, and year-to-date 3.8%. We also have the U.S. CPI being released for August, and the consensus is that it has moved from 0.8% down to 0.0%, and that year-to-date has dropped from 5.6% to 5.5%. So that could be potential good news for the U.S. dollar. We also have, and that's being released at 8:30 a.m., the Eurozone's being released at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, the U.S. also has their FOMC announcement being released at 2:15. The consensus is that they're going to hold the rate at 2%, but with the recent activity today in the markets, that could possibly change. So make sure to show up at 2:15. If we get something that's unexpected, we could definitely see the dollar gain in strength if they move the rate up. If they lower the rate, which I wouldn't anticipate them doing, but if they did, it could weaken the dollar. So got a lot going on. It's exciting to be out there and trading the markets right now. So until tomorrow, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.